Hey guys, welcome to Y&R Daily Update YouTube channel. Today's topics. GH's Rory Gibson curious to see how Y&R's, Noah and Audra, progressor Rory Gibson is keeping up with his former Y&R role. Before becoming General Hospital's new Michael, Rory Gibson played Noah on The Young and the Restless. Although the actor's time on the CBS soap was brief, he still keeps updated on all things Noah, and Gibson is showing his support for this potential storyline for his former character. Key takeaways: Gibson played Noah from 2021 to 2023. The actor made his GH debut in May 2025. Days of Our Lives actor Lucas Adams debuted as Y&R's new Noah in November. Gibson is supportive of Adams and wants a good storyline for the character. Noah and Audra shipper. Gibson played Sharon Case and Nick's Joshua Morrow's son Noah for 2 years. In 2023, the actor left the show when Noah moved to London with his girlfriend Ali Kelsey Wong. 2 years later, Gibson found success when he was cast as Michael on GH. Meanwhile, Y&R decided to recast Noah with former Days star Adams. Although his former role was recast, Gibson has no ill will toward Y&R or Adams. In a recent interview with Buzzworthy Radio, the actor voiced his support for the new Noah. "I've heard nothing but incredible things about Lucas. I haven't met him, but I hear he's a great actor and a nice guy." Gibson then wished Adams the best and hoped Noah gets a compelling storyline. One story that Gibson would love to see play out is Noah's romance with Audra Zulika Silver. "I'm curious to see what happens with Noah and Audra. Zulika and I got to start that, and then it just stopped. I don't think it got fully fleshed out while I was there." Now, Gibson and Y&R fans might get their wish. Noah's relationship with Ali is over because of his affair with Sienna Tamara Brown. Now that Noah and Sienna are in Genoa City, he's hoping things will go smoothly for them. But that might be complicated by Audra. The exes recently had an encounter at the GCAC, and it's obvious that chemistry is still there between the two. From Genoa City to Port Charles as Adams navigates Noah's messy love life on Y&R. Gibson's dealing with lots of Michael drama on GH. The actor had big shoes to fill, taking over from Chad Duell, but fans are loving Gibson's gripping performance as Dark Michael. Michael's proving he can be just as ruthless as his stepfather Sonny Morris. He's involved in a never-ending custody battle with his ex-wife Willow Caitlin McMullen over their kids. Their feud has kicked up to a fever pitch with Michael framing Willow for shooting Drew Cameron Matheson. With Michael and Willow's feud continuing, there's sure to be more emotional performances from Gibson. GH viewers will be along for the ride as they wonder if Michael will continue to torment Willow or if he'll suffer a downfall. Subscribe our channel for more latest update. Cross-soap curiosity is nothing new, but when an actor openly admits they're watching another show's evolving dynamic, it offers fans a rare meta moment, one where storytelling transcends network lines. That's exactly what makes Rory Gibson's recent comments so intriguing. Best known to daytime audiences for his work on General Hospital, Gibson has admitted he's genuinely curious about how The Young and the Restless will continue developing Noah Newman and Audra Charles. And honestly, he's not alone. The pairing, or perhaps more accurately, the entanglement of Noah Newman and Audra Charles, has quietly become one of Y&R's most psychologically charged. It's not flashy romance or classic soap destiny. It's messy, unresolved, and fueled by emotional subtext, the kind of dynamic that actors, especially ones steeped in character-driven drama, can't help but notice. Why Rory Gibson's perspective matters when actors comment on other soaps. It's rarely casual. Gibson's curiosity suggests recognition, not just of plot mechanics, but of narrative potential. As someone who has portrayed layered, emotionally conflicted characters himself, Gibson understands that the most compelling arcs aren't about immediate payoff. They're about tension that simmers. Noah and Audra embody that slow burn perfectly, rather than rushing them into a clearly defined relationship. Y&R has allowed discomfort, attraction, and mistrust to coexist. It's storytelling that relies less on spectacle and more on emotional contradiction, something that resonates deeply with performers who value internal conflict as much as external drama. Noah Newman, a character in transition. Noah has always existed in a strange narrative space on The Young and the Restless. As a Newman, he carries legacy expectations. As an artist and tech entrepreneur, he resists being swallowed by them. His return to Genoa City promised maturity, but what it delivered was uncertainty. Audra didn't just enter Noah's life, she disrupted his sense of control. With her, Noah isn't the steady, emotionally evolved presence he wants to be. He's reactive, guarded, drawn in despite knowing better. That tension is exactly what keeps viewers invested, and it's likely what caught Gibbs' attention. Noah's journey isn't about choosing Audra, it's about deciding who he becomes when his carefully rebuilt emotional armor starts to crack. Audra Charles, power, vulnerability, and strategy. Audra is one of Y&R's most compelling modern characters because she refuses to be easily categorized. She's ambitious without apology, emotionally guarded without being cold, and self-aware enough to know when she's being underestimated, and when she's doing the underestimating. Her connection with Noah is layered with history, power imbalance, and unresolved trust issues. Audra doesn't pursue Noah out of romantic fantasy. She engages with him because he challenges her emotional detachment in ways she doesn't fully control. That lack of control is crucial. For Audra, attraction is dangerous territory. For Noah, Audra represents unpredictability in a life he's worked hard to stabilize. Their dynamic thrives on that mutual discomfort. A storytelling choice that feels refreshingly adult. Why this isn't a typical soap romance. What sets Noah and Audra apart from traditional soap pairings is restraint. The show hasn't rushed them into grand declarations or melodramatic betrayals. Instead, it's leaned into pauses, charged silences, and conversations that don't quite resolve anything. From an actor's perspective, especially one like Gibson's, this kind of storytelling is irresistible. It allows characters to exist in gray areas, where intention and outcome don't always align. That's likely why Gibson's curiosity feels genuine rather than promotional. Noah and Audra aren't being written for shock value, they're being written for longevity. Cross-up appreciation signals, strong storytelling at S. Worth noting that when actors from one daytime institution acknowledge another's storylines, it often reflects a shared respect for craft. Gibson recognizing the Noah arc speaks to Y&R's renewed focus on psychological realism, something soaps have increasingly embraced to stay relevant. This isn't about rivalry between General Hospital and The Young and the Restless. It's about recognizing when a story hits that sweet spot where character motivation feels authentic, even when behavior is questionable. In many ways, Noah and Audra mirror the kind of emotionally complex relationships that modern daytime thrives on, relationships that don't need immediate labels to feel meaningful. Where could Noah and Audra go next? That's the question fueling both fan speculation and Gibson's curiosity. Will Y&R push them toward romance, a destructive power struggle, or a slow realization that their connection is more about unresolved personal wounds than compatibility? The beauty of their dynamic is that any of those outcomes feel plausible. What matters more than the destination is the journey and whether the show continues, allowing these characters to evolve without forcing them into traditional soap molds. Final thoughts. Curiosity as a complementary. Gibson's interest in Noah and Audra isn't just a throwaway comment. It's a quiet endorsement of storytelling that trusts its audience and its characters. In an era where soaps often feel pressure to escalate quickly, Y&R's willingness to let tension breathe stands out. For fans, Gibson's curiosity mirrors their own. For actors, it signals a storyline worth watching not just for where it goes but for how thoughtfully it gets there. If The Young and the Restless continues honoring the emotional complexity at the heart of Noah and Audra's connection, it's easy to see why even stars from rival soaps are leaning in, waiting to see what happens next.